How you doing? I hope you're well, every single one of you, and I hope you're all in good health. Thank you very much for joining me again for tonight's podcast with Ibrar Hussain. Ibrar Hussain, thank you very much for joining me. And today should be quite interesting because we're going to talk about the symmetry. We're going to talk about the cemetery issues in Sheffield. So I know we have a big problem, and over the years, even with the COVID, most of the cemetery are full, especially with the Muslim burial. I'll highlight a few places: Tinsley, and then Shire Green, and then we have City Road. And I believe there is no spaces left even in Tinsley anymore. So let's talk a little bit about that, please, because I know you have been involved in a lot of work recently.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, we did a petition where we had 4,459 signatures. I wish we got 5,000 and we could have had a debate, but it would have took a long time and I didn't want to waste time. The problem we have is that Tinsley Darnall Cemetery is full, completely full. So we need another section for the Muslim in Darnall Tinsley area, because at this moment of time the burials are taking place majority in Shire Green, in the new section. The old one is full. If you go into Shire Green Cemetery, straight down on your right hand side, the section is full. Now we're on the left hand side. Now that is getting full up as well very quick. So that was one of my very serious concerns, that we need to plan ahead. Now officers are saying we've got about 6 years worth of capacity. That's what the officers are saying. But on the current situation before us with the pandemic and everything, you know, if you go on site, it's getting filled up and there's a burial every day, you know. There might be 2 burials a day, 3 burials a day, but there's an average, I'll say 1. So it's a big site, but how long is that going to last? So we've got to plan ahead on that. We've got City Road, that's getting filled up as well. So really we've got 2 cemeteries from 3, and this section is getting filled up. So we've got to plan ahead. So what my petition was asking was a couple of things. One, we have a local plan, which is to deal with the planning framework and the land space we have in Sheffield, and every council in the country has to do that. So what we want as part of that is the council to consider our concerns as part of the legal framework for the burial sites for the Muslim community. Second, we want a partnership with the council and also have a private cemeteries as well, to take the pressure off the cooker in a sense, so we can have our own site and we can have our own control as well. Number 3, if there's a burial taking place at the cemetery now, for the digger or the JCB, you have to give a 72-hour notice, because they only got one. They have to bring it from, say, City Road to Shire Green or Shire Green to City Road. That's not good enough. I believe that diggers should be available on site, like in Bradford, for if the family needs it, it's there and then available. So when you do the booking, and summer is not a problem, you know, it's very dry. But when it's winter or if it's raining, it's very difficult. So we need to plan for that. So the tools are key as well. So that was a real concern. So the petition has gone in, the last council in February, and they've set up a committee where they're going to have across the board other communities, faith communities as well, to look at these issues, and they want to do long-term planning as well. And hopefully when I get the invite to that committee, and we can have a discussion from there, but we cannot walk away from this issue.
Can we talk about any numbers? So in Tinsley, the site, how many hundreds of burial do we have there at the moment?
I don't have the actual number. It would be wrong of me to give you that, but I can say it's at full capacity.
Okay.
And it will be in hundreds.
Okay.
It won't be in 100 or 200. It will be in a very large number. Don't forget, it was full once before, the one section. Then we had to move to another section in Darnall as well. I mean, you must have some relatives and friends buried there. Yeah. And there was a far end, and then an adjoining section was available, and that's filled up as well. I remember when it was empty.
I do as well.
And I am surprised. So I do ask our community to take an interest in this, because this is a very important issue. In the 80s, the 70s, 80s, 95% burials were going back home.
That's correct.
Now it's 99% being buried here, and some, even I do know, have come back from Pakistan, burials, they shifted the deceased back to UK as well. I mean, it might have happened in Bangladeshi community.
Yes, because most of our families are here now.
All here. So it's important that we prepare for this. This is, I think it should be number one priority as a community. We have many other priorities, but this should be in the top 5.
I know I've been to a lot of burials in different cities, like London, Birmingham, Manchester, and a lot of the Asian community, they actually buy their own land and they have their own private burial site. Can we do something like this in Sheffield? Because we have a very large community of Muslim people.
Well, this moment of time, I am looking at that. There are some other brothers who are looking at this as well. And I've said to them, listen, whoever leads on this, it doesn't matter. The whole object of all this is that we have a Muslim cemetery privately owned by the community, for the community, managed by the community as a trust, not for profit. And okay, there'll be a cost of maintenance and everything. But you know how much it costs now? £3,200 for a lined grave. A lined grave is where you have a frame, a concrete frame
with the slabs
on it. That's £3,200.
And the earth?
And then also there's a 50 years lease. So we could cut that into half or even less than half. Even more. And then there's a funeral director's cost on top. And at the moment, we are very lucky. We got Tariq Chaudhry in Sheffield, and he's only charging $590. Come on, what are you going to get for $590? So excellent service has been provided by Tariq Chaudhry there. However, the main bulk of the cost is the council cost. You have a mosque cost. People donate to mosque to 300, 400, 500, and there's a food cost. But overall, invoice is £5,000.
It's a lot of money for a lot of people.
A lot of people. It is a lot of money to find out suddenly, because you could die any time. It has a big impact. So we need to find a way, and I think our community will give sadaqah, and we need a site. Whoever buys it, it needs to be on an understanding, mutual understanding, and legal frame within that. There's a trust. It's for the community. And we work professionally on that emphasis that we make sure that it delivers for the whole of the Muslim community. That's the key.
Another thing I'd like to touch on, Ibrar, and I'm sure you've probably seen it as well, because I've been to a few funerals in London, and they do it quite different from the way we do it in Sheffield.
Okay.
You might know what I mean, like the way they
Garden
do it
of
back
Peace.
up.
Garden of Peace?
Yes, like here in Sheffield, we put the coffin completely inside. But when I went to a few burials in London, they actually take the deceased out of the coffin and they bury it inside, just with the coffin. They don't actually put the box.
Yeah, we can do that, Sheffield. The council, there's no problem with that. It's that our community has chosen to do that.
Okay.
So we can do that. So,
do you know what I mean?
If this
we
is the
do
frame,
that back home.
so this is the frame. This is the frame, and what you are saying is that they lay the body in like that, and then they put the slabs over. That's what you're saying.
Yes, but a lot of times they don't even put the slab, they just put the soil on top of the body. Okay. Just the way they do it in Bangladesh, in Pakistan and India.
In Pakistan, what they do, they put the slates in Pakistan. So the grave in Pakistan is you dig it halfway, and then in the middle, you dig as well, and you put the body inside, and then you put the slab.
Yeah, they do that in Bangladesh as well.
And that way, because then it's a narrow place just for the body.
Yes.
And then 2 people or 4 people can stand easily or sit down and put the slabs on. True. I think that's the best way. My own, so we can get rid of the coffin, So you can do that here. But if we have our own, yes, exactly, we'll do that. Yes. And I have informed council of that. Yeah. I have informed council of that. Exactly the design as well. They said health and safety. I said health and safety. Once you're dead and everything's put on the soil, it's end of story.
Yes. Another thing I want to touch on, and I've seen that a lot. Before, when you used to go to a lot of graveyards, you used to just see a stone and that's it. But these days you see them quite decorative. You see like a stone all the way around with marble, and they do spend a lot of money on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So back in the days, you just see sort of just a simple stone.
Yeah, well, that is a family choice.
Okay.
That's a family choice. My own personal opinion, keep the grave simple, so it's identifiable whose grave it is. So headstone is key in my opinion. So who's died, when they died, and whose son, brother, whoever, written on that, and kalma and all it on that. Other than that, then the grave boundary is the key.
Okay.
So nobody walks over it. Once you start building or surroundings around it, I think we are going away from that very special place. I think it's personal choice, but I think we need to look within what
And our prophet.
what our Deen has said. Because if you go to Jannat al-Baqi,
Yeah.
after 60 days, they take it all out. But if you go to Sahabas and the relatives of the Holy Prophet graves in Jannat al-Baqi in Medina, there's only headstone.
I think it's the individual preference.
Yeah, but very. So I don't think we need to get into that.
Yeah.
That's a very bigger debate in the scholars, I think, and I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
But I think simple is always the best.
Okay. What are you doing in the future regarding this then now?
Well, I'm waiting for them to come back on the committee setup and what are the meetings and what the agenda. Then I will keep the community posted on this, exactly what is happening. And I think also the land purchase and the trust and what's happening with that, and how other brothers, because I'm getting phone calls all the time, what's happening. People are always asking me, so it's a big interest for me.
Yeah. And it's really good that before we didn't have a lot of funeral services, especially Muslim funeral services. Now, as you mentioned, the gentleman's name, what did you say? His name was Tariq Chaudhary, and there's more people doing it. So hats off to them. And
Well, I
more
think if it's a 590, come on, where are you going to get a 590? 590 is just cost. He's just doing it cost.
Yeah, so
You know, and hats off to him, it's voluntary.
yeah, 100%.
And do understand what's involved. Registration is involved, picking the body up from if it's home death, and then hospital, getting all the paperwork, if there's and also if the coroner's involved, there's sometimes a lot of difficulties, you know, and you need to be experienced to deal with these things. When the day somebody died, 10:30, 2:30, Janazah was done. Come on, what a fantastic service!
Yeah, so
Better than even Pakistan.
because it's
In
very
Bangladesh,
stressful.
10:30 somebody died. 2:30, no, 3 o'clock they were in the grey. Janazah was being done, and 4:45 burial was taking place.
And these days we're quite lucky because we have a lot of masjids where they have the full facilities,
there are facilities
for everything.
A lot of masjids, I do know,
The
because the reason I
washrooms and
mentioned
the
Tariq
facilities
Chaudhary,
for
because he's well known in this, and he's the only one who does this as a service. It's a lot of masjids do cooperate. They have to cooperate because masjids are community centres, and this is one of the most important services. And in the current climate, it has to be prioritised. And alhamdulillah, they're all working together, and I think we all have to work together. We all have to work together. What are you going to get for 590? You're not going to get it for 590.
Definitely. I'd like to mention a few things to the viewers. So this is a problem, this is an issue, and I would like a lot of people to comment and let us know what your thoughts are, what your opinions are. Because I don't know what's going to happen after 5 years. Where are we going to bury our brothers and sisters? And I even think about it a lot because my parents were buried at the Tinsley Cemetery. Every single week, more or less, there is.
Every day we get on WhatsApp messages.
Yeah.
But I just want to say
what are we going to do? How are we going to tackle it? And what are your opinions? What are your thoughts? Do you think we've covered everything on this?
Yes, we have. Thank you for that. I want people to contact me with any information, any questions they have. My phone number is readily available, 078 665 71750, or email me, Ibrar, IBRAR693 @gmail.com. Can you put it on your?
I will do.
Important, because if I'm going away, So if anybody's trying to contact me, please email me. It's the best way, or WhatsApp me on my same number. I think this is, to me, number one issue to my heart.
100%, I totally agree with you. I'm very proud of you, what you're doing, and all the very best. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all the brothers and sisters that have died
Yes.
the highest Jannatul Firdaus. Amin.
And there's also the brothers who's doing this work. We should pray for them as well, because they are working for the community behind the scene. They're the real champions.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
They're
Ibrar
like-
bhai, all the very best, and thank you very much for making time and effort to do this, and together we could all make a difference. Thank you very much. Guys, look after yourself, and we'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.